What if the way you start your morning is quietly shaping the course of your entire life? Most people don't even realize it. They wake up already overwhelmed, rushed, reactive, scattered. But here's the truth. Your morning isn't just a routine. It's a reflection of your mind. And if your mind is cluttered, anxious, unfocused, that energy ripples into everything else. Stoicism isn't about ancient robes or cold detachment. It's about mastering your mornings so you can master your days and ultimately yourself. So let's step away from the noise. Let's build something better. In this video, we're diving into 10 Stoic morning practices that will transform not just how you wake up, but how you live. Start with purpose. Discover your Ikigai. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Let me ask you something real. What gets you out of bed in the morning? And I don't mean the alarm clock. I mean that deeper pull, the quiet force that stirs your soul and whispers, "This day matters." That force, the Stoics would call it living with purpose. In Japanese philosophy, there's a word for it, Ikigai, your reason for being. It's where your passions meet your talents, where your skills meet the world's needs. And yes, even where those meet something you can make a living from. Imagine waking up with that kind of clarity. You don't dread the day. You lean into it because your life isn't something to escape from. It's something you're building, step by step, morning by morning. And no, you don't have to have all the answers today. This isn't about pressure, it's about possibility. Start small. Ask yourself, what do I love? What am I naturally good at? What does the world need from me? And where do those things overlap? Don't worry if it's fuzzy. That's okay. This is a journey. And the Stoics would remind us, the point isn't to arrive overnight. It's to keep moving with honor, with curiosity, and with integrity. Even asking these questions sets you apart. Because most people, they don't ask. They sleepwalk through life. They react, they drift, but not you. You're choosing to live with intention, to shape your mornings into a launchpad for meaning, to craft a life that reflects who you really are and why you're here. And that, my friend, is the first and most powerful step on the Stoic path. Win tomorrow tonight. The power of evening routines. Let's be real. How you end your day is how your next one begins. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius often wrote at night, not to be productive, but to process, to reflect, to align his mind with virtue before sleep. See, most people treat evenings like an escape hatch. They binge, they scroll, they disconnect, but not in a way that restores them. And then they wonder why they wake up foggy, overwhelmed, or already behind. But here's the truth. Your morning begins the night before. So tonight, give yourself a better ending. Instead of doom scrolling until your eyes blur, wind down with intention. Journal. Read a few wise words. Reflect on what mattered today. Let your thoughts settle like dust in still air. And here's a simple but powerful move. Write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Not a long to-do list, just 3. This one act alone shifts your mind from chaos to clarity. It says, I know what matters. I'm choosing my direction. And that's not just organization. That's inner leadership. Even your body will thank you. Less screen time before bed lets your nervous system relax. A few deep breaths a slow exhale, maybe even a moment of silence. These aren't routines, they're rituals. They honor your life, your energy, your purpose. Because momentum doesn't magically show up in the morning. You build it tonight by how you close your day. So ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to wake up to? And what choices tonight will create that tomorrow? That's Stoicism in action. It's not rigid, it's not joyless, it's about living with quiet strength and deliberate grace. And it starts when the world winds down, but you, my friend, rise inwardly. Own your morning disconnect to reconnect. Picture this. It's early. The sun is just rising. The world hasn't started buzzing yet, and for a moment, everything is still. You're not holding your phone. You're not scrolling through 100 opinions. You're not reacting. You're just being present, calm, clear. Sounds almost unreal, right? But it's not. This serenity is completely within your reach. It begins the moment you stop letting your phone, your inbox, your feed dictate the rhythm of your mind. See, when you wake up and reach for your device, you're not just checking the time. You're handing over your attention, your power, to a world that thrives on distraction. And as the Stoics teach us, what you give your attention to shapes your life. Marcus Aurelius didn't have push notifications in ancient Rome, but he did have distractions, noise power, struggles, constant demands. And yet he wrote, "If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke." You have that same power. So start your mornings on your terms. Light a candle. Read something that feeds your spirit. Write a line or two in a journal. Take 5 deep, conscious breaths before the world even knows you're awake. You're not escaping reality. You're preparing for it with clarity, not clutter. Because serenity isn't a place you find. It's a habit you build moment by moment. And when you begin your day grounded in stillness, you don't just survive the chaos that comes later, you rise above it. Master the morning build wake-up discipline. The alarm goes off. And in that moment, you're standing at a crossroads. Hit snooze or rise with purpose. Most people choose comfort. The blanket feels heavy, the pillow soft, the bed safe. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit how you wake up is how you live. Getting up consistently, even when you don't feel like it, isn't about proving something to the world. It's about building something far more important, trust with yourself. You're telling your mind, your body, your spirit, I show up even when it's hard. That's what Stoicism is all about. Not just reacting to life, but choosing how you enter it. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." So why wait to start living with that kind of presence? Waking up at the same time every day might sound small, but it's a cornerstone habit. It sets the tone for everything else, your focus, your discipline, your self-respect. It says, I'm not ruled by how I feel in the moment. I'm guided by who I want to become. And yes, in the beginning, it's tough. There will be days when your bed feels like a magnet and every part of you wants to quit. But that's where the real growth happens. Because each time you rise on time on purpose, you're not just starting your day. You're strengthening your will. You're reinforcing your identity. You're living by choice, not chance. That's not robotic. That's powerful. That's stoic. So start small. Go to bed a little earlier. Let the morning light be your cue. Even if all you do at first is get out of bed and stand still, do it. Do it with honor. Do it with consistency. And do it for you. Because the person who wakes up with purpose is the one who goes to sleep with peace. Progress over perfection. Practice self-compassion. Let's be honest. You're going to mess up. You'll hit snooze when you swore you wouldn't. You'll skip that journal session. Forget to breathe deeply. Some mornings, you'll just feel off. And guess what? That's okay. You're human, not a machine. Even the most disciplined minds, the philosophers, the emperors, the sages, they all stumbled. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations to show off perfection. He wrote to remind himself to remember what mattered even when he fell short. He knew the Stoic path isn't about being flawless. It's about being faithful to growth, to integrity, to starting again. So if you slip up, don't spiral. Don't shame yourself. That's not strength. That's a trap. Instead, pause. Breathe. Gently remind yourself the morning always offers a new beginning. That's the quiet power of Stoicism. It meets you right where you are. Not to scold you, but to guide you. To say, you fell good. Now rise wiser, steadier, kinder. Because self-compassion isn't weakness. It's wisdom in action. It's recognizing that growth isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. You come back to the same lessons again and again, each time a little stronger, a little clearer. So take it easy on yourself. Not because you're letting go of your standards, but because you understand the journey. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about showing up, trying again, learning, and walking forward with grace. And that's what makes you powerful. Daily wins train discipline through small acts. Let's talk about the little things. Making your bed, drinking a glass of water, stretching your body even just for a minute. Simple, right? Almost too simple. But here's the truth the Stoics knew well. Great character isn't built in grand moments. It's built in the quiet, unseen choices you make day after day. When you smooth out your sheets, you're not just tidying up your room. You're telling yourself, I care. I honor this space. I honor myself. When you hydrate, you're not just quenching thirst. You're practicing awareness. You're listening to your body, treating it with respect. When you stretch, breathe, and move, you're saying, my well-being matters. I choose vitality. These tiny rituals, they are acts of discipline, yes. But deeper than that, they're declarations. They're votes for the kind of person you're becoming. Because a Stoic doesn't wait for the battlefield to build courage. They train in the mundane. They find strength in the ordinary. They create order in their surroundings as a reflection of order in their soul. And when life gets messy, as it always does, those small acts become your anchor. So don't overlook them. Don't brush them off. Making your bed, that's not trivial. That's a spiritual act. A promise you whisper to yourself every morning, I will show up with care. I will live with intention. I will begin with discipline. And from there, the rest of the day unfolds with purpose. Don't go alone. The strength of accountability. Here's something most people don't realize. You don't have to walk this path alone. Yes, Stoicism teaches self-reliance. Yes, it's about owning your choices, mastering your mind, standing tall in adversity. But even the strongest Stoics didn't do it in isolation. Marcus Aurelius had friends, mentors, and confidants who helped him stay grounded. Seneca wrote letters to Lucilius not just to teach, but to reflect, to connect, to grow together. You and I, we're no different. Because when the alarm goes off before sunrise, when you're tempted to skip the hard things, when your motivation is running on fumes, that one person who checks in with you, who says, "Hey, how did it go this morning?" Who cheers your small wins and nudges you back on track when you slip, that person is gold. This isn't just about accountability. It's about companionship. Someone who shares your values, who gets why you're doing the inner work. Someone you can be honest with, no masks, no pretense, and it goes both ways. You support them. You reflect back their progress. You remind each other that the Stoic path, though personal, is not lonely. There's a reason Marcus wrote, "We were born for cooperation like feet, like hands, like eyelids. We grow better, stronger together." So look around. Who in your life is also reaching for better? Who's trying to live with more clarity, more discipline, more peace? Invite them in. Share the journey. It doesn't have to be formal, just regular check-ins, honest conversations, mutual encouragement. Because sometimes the simple act of walking beside someone else is exactly what keeps both of you moving forward. Live like it matters. Remember, you could die. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Let's pause for a moment and feel the weight of that. This isn't about fear. It's not some grim obsession with death. It's about focus. Memento mori means remember that you must die. But what it really does is wake you up to life, to this morning, this breath, this chance. Because we live as if time is unlimited, as if we've got forever to do the things that matter, to say I love you, to write that book, to fix what's broken, to live the way we know we're meant to live. But the Stoics knew better. They knew that remembering death is what sharpens your sense of purpose. It strips away the trivial. It reminds you that this day is not owed to you. It's a gift. And when you see it that way, something shifts inside you. You stop coasting. You stop postponing your dreams, your growth, your truth. Instead, you begin to ask, if this were my last morning, would I be proud of how I greet it? Would I show up differently, more present, more loving, more bold? This isn't about being dramatic. It's about being awake, alive to the preciousness of now. Because when you live with the end in mind, you live with clarity. You forgive faster. You speak more honestly. You love more deeply. And each time you open your eyes to a new day, you remember this isn't just another Monday. It's a miracle. So take this moment. Look around. Feel the pulse of life running through you and ask yourself, What will I do with this breath, this sunrise, this sacred chance to be here now? Expect the unexpected practice, negative visualization. Here's something most people avoid, but the Stoics leaned into it with open eyes. Imagine things going wrong, not because you want them to, not because you're being negative, but because you're preparing with wisdom. This is the art of negative visualization. Think about it. The day ahead won't be smooth from start to finish. There will be delays, interruptions. Someone might cut you off in traffic. You might get criticized, overlooked, misunderstood. Now pause and picture it, but not to stress about it. Do it to rehearse your response. What if, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, you respond with calm, with clarity, with virtue? That's Stoic training. You're not caught off guard. You're not knocked off center. You've already been here in your mind and chosen who you want to be. This practice, it's not about dwelling on doom. It's about fortifying your spirit, its mental armor, inner preparation. And paradoxically, it deepens your appreciation for what's not going wrong. Suddenly, the green lights feel like gifts. The quiet moments feel like treasures. Even your coffee tastes better, because by imagining loss or hardship, you come back to the present with gratitude and readiness. So tomorrow morning, before the day sweeps you up, take one quiet moment. Picture a challenge, and then visualize yourself handling it, not perfectly, but stoically, with poise, with strength, with grace. Because the Stoic isn't surprised by life's storms. They're ready. End with thanks, gratitude as a nightly ritual. The sun is setting, the noise of the world is beginning to quiet, and here you are, at the end of another day. Before you drift into sleep, pause, not to overthink, not to rehash every mistake, but to remember what was good. Ask yourself gently, what went well today? What did I learn? What am I grateful for? This isn't just a feel-good ritual. This is Stoic reflection. It's shifting your mind from what's missing to what's already here. Because when you train your eyes to see blessings, especially in hard moments, you soften the sharp edges of the day. You carry less weight into the night. You stop chasing more and start appreciating enough. Maybe it was a kind word from a stranger, a small task you finished, a moment of peace between the chaos. Write it down, say it aloud, hold it close. This practice of gratitude isn't just for the day that passed. It's how you prime your heart for tomorrow. You fall asleep not with anxiety, but with contentment. Seneca once wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart," and he was right. Gratitude makes us humble, it makes us strong, and it reminds us no matter how uncertain life is, there is always something worth cherishing. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let your last thoughts be gentle ones. Thank the day. Thank yourself, and rest in the quiet power of appreciation. These aren't just morning routines. They're quiet revolutions. Each small act rising with consistency, choosing calm over chaos, reflecting with gratitude, shapes the person you're becoming. You're not chasing perfection. You're choosing presence. You're not trying to control the world. You're learning to master yourself. That's the Stoic way. So tomorrow, don't just wake up. Rise with clarity, with courage, with purpose. And when you slip, as we all do, return. not with guilt, but with grace. Because every morning is a fresh canvas, every breath another chance. If this message spoke to something deep in you, stay with us. Explore the other videos. Feed your mind. Strengthen your spirit. We're not here to hustle harder. We're here to live wiser. This is your path, your practice, the Stoic path. And it continues, one intentional morning at a time.